I remember we had some discussion during 2012 about, well, is it appropriate for the president, who's sitting president and candidate, to give interviews to Jon Stewart and others? And the answer was yes, again, because young voters that we were trying to reach are more likely to watch The Daily Show than some other news shows. But also, I think if you look back at 2012 and the series of interviews the sitting president of the United States gave, probably the toughest interview he had was with Jon Stewart. Probably the most substantive, challenging interview Barack Obama had in the election year was with the anchor of The Daily Show.
All right, welcome to Gimme 5. Do you know how scary that is? And it's probably true that Jon Stewart in that venue was the man, and the ultra-lib was the man who conducted the most delving, pressing, probing, comprehensive interview with the President of the United States? How frightening is that? That's Jay Carney talking to Major Garrett. But it could be true. It certainly could be true because nobody asks him tough questions. We know that. We know that for sure. Now, CBS spent 15 minutes in the previous 24 hours with an interview done by Major Garrett and with Barack Obama, where no probing questions were asked. We'll get to that. And then they pile on that with a 7-minute interview with his outgoing Deputy Chief of Staff. And Charlie Rose asks nothing about Benghazi, nothing, no tough questions, IRS, nothing. They focused on her and how powerful she was. In fact, Charlie Rose called her scary powerful. Watch.
Did he try to talk you out of it?
Of course. Of course. I think that he knew that for me to actually get to the point where I said, you know what, it's time, that he understood.
He says an interesting thing. I'm not going to let you go.
Right.
Unless you promise me you will be there for me.
Yeah.
Not only during the presidency, but in the post-presidency.
Yes. So
I mean, that's an ultimate act of respect.
We've been through a great adventure, and what he said was, you can go and you can take some time off, but you know, we're together forever, and I need you around. And he's like, and you have to tell me that that's the deal. And I said, of course.
The outgoing Deputy Chief of Staff for the President of the United States, who's embroiled in all kinds of controversies, and nothing about those controversies, only about her. And get a load of this one.
Is the most exciting time of your life behind you?
It might be, but that's okay.
Oh, that's so touching and so wonderful. Who cares? No one ever heard of this woman before. Ask her questions about the administration, not about her. You know, but Major Garrett's guilty too. He interviewed the president. Nothing on health care, nothing on Benghazi, nothing on the IRS. Why do the interview, Major? Watch.
I know you've thought a lot about this, Mr. President. In your mind, is there a line, never mind the color, is there a line in Eastern Europe or Ukraine that Vladimir Putin must not cross?
Well,
can you articulate that for the world and for the Russian government?
I think the world understands very clearly that Ukraine is a sovereign nation that has deep historical roots with Russia. None of us think that somehow Ukraine can ignore Russia, should be hostile towards Russia, but we also don't think that Ukraine should be a vassal state.
All right. He doesn't press him on it, and then he interviews Jay Carney and lets Carney get away with this.
I have some sense of this, having covered the president as a candidate and this White House, but I'm sure you have a better sense of it. What is it about the president's approach to leadership and management of the White House that you glean from his decision not to fire anyone in the heat of that crisis, when many people, not just critics, but friends of the White House, allies of the president, thought it would be helpful both politically and as a sort of leadership tool to fire one or a number of people who were responsible for bungling this rollout?
Because the president was not and never is interested in the ephemeral satisfaction of being praised by his critics or friends.
Really? Bogus. Steve Malzberg Show.
Once you cut a tree down, what do you do?